Hi, folks. All right, Washington Post comes out and says it plain as day. Gun control doesn't work, in Europe. So this is the beginning of the idea that gun control is not going to work in America because we're not Europe and we're not going to collude to European values. You know, Americans do work hard when they're given good, fair jobs or good, fair services. Americans do things differently than in Europe. And if it isn't working in Europe, and Europe was like the project management state to the United States and, everything else, then it ain't going to work here. But I'll go into this. This is from thetruthaboutguns.com by Robert Farrago, February 21, 2015, by the Washington Post. So basically, I'll give you the highlights. Alright, this is all about a guy's opinion. Alright, so basically, Europe, a continent long known for a rarity of gun violence, is confronted with twin challenges that give issue of sudden urgency: a growing population, radicalized young men determined to strike targets. Yada yada yada. They're talking about terrorist attacks. Over here, they basically say, in contrast to the United States, a free-firing United States, Europe is generally seen as a haven for serious gun violence. Here in Denmark, handguns and semi-automatic rifles are all about but banned. Hunting rifles are legally available. Only those with squeaky clean backgrounds who have passed rigorous exams covering everything from gun safety to mating habits of Denmark's wildlife. So it's insane. And basically, I've read this through and through, and this talks about where the Copenhagen cafe with 28 bullets had happened on Saturday. It takes a few connections with cash. It's very easy to get such a weapon, says Hans Jorgen Bonnegen, former operations director of the Danish security service, PET. It's not only a problem in Denmark, it's a problem in Europe. European leaders have tightened controls and trafficking. In the following weeks, the killing of 17 people in Paris by 3 attackers, shootings in Copenhagen past weekend left 2 people dead. Officials acknowledge there's no clear solution. The open border policies allow people and goods to flow freely across the continent, and it makes it extremely difficult to crack down on illegal weapons. You can find Kalashnikovs for sale in the train station in Brussels, acknowledged by Brussels-based European Union officials who spoke on the condition of amnesty or anonymity because he was not authorized to speak on the record. They're available, even very average criminals. The case of Paris attackers, they're able to obtain the entire arsenal: AK-47 assault rifles, pistols, Scorpion machine guns, even rocket-propelled grenades, for about $5,000 in Belgian money. Controlling the flow of illegal weapons is not impossible. It's nearly impossible. Europe needs an international database of lost and stolen weapons to somehow stem the tide of 67 million illicit firearms. And he says basically it's giggle-worthy, and everybody knows it. And basically, the gun control works in favor of the criminals. That's basically it. The gun control laws work in favor of the criminals. If you're I'm not doing the zooming in, folks. It's doing it right now, and now it's zooming out. And that's what gun control laws do. They work in favor of the criminals. You can put a gun in anybody's hand, it's still a weapon. You can put a kitchen knife in somebody's hand, it's a weapon. You can put a soda can in somebody's hand, it's still a weapon. Crush it down, if you file it down, if you smash a piece, if you get a piece to a point, it's still a weapon. You can use any object anywhere for a weapon. Doesn't matter what it is. Eventually, something becomes a weapon. I was watching Bones the other day, which is an American show, and there was a prison president who had killed a guy in the show. And basically, they stacked paper thickly and tightly and shaved it down to where it became a point that was like wood, and the person was stabbed. You know, what can you do? Shit's gonna happen if shit's gonna happen. If somebody's gonna die, somebody's gonna die. But the gun control laws in Europe are basically protecting the criminals because they're not protecting the law-abiding citizens who have to jump through thousands of hoops just to get a firearm.